If you guys want to win this free glider skateboard, make sure you watch the whole video because I'm going to be leaving instructions if you're interested in getting a free board. Welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be talking about Jaeb's extremely effortless, beautiful, magnificent, just flawless switch flip that he posted on his Instagram. And then ultimately the goal is to try and copy it. Is it possible? Maybe. Possibly not. Regardless, we are going to try. So if you watch my videos, you know I'm like super into dissecting really good skateboarders' techniques for doing tricks. And Jaeb has probably one of the prettiest looking switch flips ever. Like, it's right up there with Shane O'Neill for sure. So there's a couple things that I've noticed about this switch flip. One is the position of his knee and the board when he's flicking. So right as he's flicking the board, you'll notice that the nose of the board is underneath his leading hip, where his knee is actually out in front of the nose of the board. We talked about this in the video I did on heel flips, that leading with your knee really creates a strong, effortless flick. And I don't think that anybody demonstrates this any better than Jaeb. However, one thing that you might run into when you're trying to lead with your knee is you might be trying to throw your knee out to try and get it in front of your nose, but really the secret is to leave the nose underneath your hip. That position with the board underneath you and your knee out in front, I believe is the secret to doing an effortless kickflip like Jaeb. Now, aside from just the flick, the other part of this that I want to focus on is the catch. Now, Jaeb, along with a lot of other really good pros, you'll notice that when they flip the board on the way up and catch it at its peak and then come down with the board. If you think of tricks in two parts, going up and coming down, the flip happens only during the going up and there's no flipping happening during the coming down. So today, that's what I'm going to try and replicate. Number one, I'm going to try and keep the nose underneath my hip. Number two, I'm going to try and lead with that knee, and that should be pretty easy as long as we keep the nose underneath the hip, and then flip the board on the way up. I don't know if I'll be able to do this, but you'll notice that Jaeb, he's actually able to get both feet back on the board before it hits the ground, and that would ultimately be my goal for today. Is like, I would really like to get a kickflip where I flip it up and catch it so controlled that I can come down and get both feet on the board before I touch the ground. So if all I can do is just get the board to finish the flip as it's going up, I'll be hyped with that. But either way, I'm about to pull up to the skate park, get a warm up going, and see if we can copy Jaeb's secret to properly flicked and caught and landed kickflips. Side note, obviously he's doing a switch flip. I can't switch flip, so we're gonna stick with the kickflip, regular kickflips today. But I do wanna use this technique to try and learn nollie and switch flips in the next month or so. With that, let's get into the session. Well, today's session was kind of all over the place, but before we get into the session, let's talk about those kickflips. So I felt like I did like a bajillion kickflips. At first, they were like really low, and I felt like I was catching them at their peak, but it was kind of hard to say because when you're going up the step up, that takes away the height of your kickflip a little bit. So I was like feeling them come up to my feet. However, I was like just a few inches above landing. So I couldn't really tell if I was like really catching them at the peak. So then I started to focus on ollie first and then kickflip. And if you look at like Jaeb's technique, when he's getting ready to flick and his knee is out in front and the nose is underneath his hip, I mean, that's really just like an ollie position, right? The only thing that's different is his foot is like angled, ready for a kickflip. His ankle's like tweaked a little bit so that he can flick off the side of the board. But essentially, he's in the same position as an ollie. So when I started thinking ollie first and then kickflip, I kind of intuitively started getting into that position. At least that's what it felt like. Let me know in the comments below. I obviously haven't reviewed the footage yet, but that really helped the flick. And then from there, it was really just, again, thinking of it like an ollie, picking up my feet to create space for the board to come up. I'm not sure if I got any that I was really able to get both feet back on the board before I landed. If I did, there might have been like one or two in there, but it wasn't like him where he like floats down. It was like, go. Anyways, obviously I've got a long way to go. I mean, to be anything like Jaeb, but I mean, that's the goal, right? Is to be like these pros and, you know, just be the best skateboarder that you can be. Even if it'll never happen, it's kind of just like the pursuit of that. At least for me, that's what I enjoy about skateboarding, is like, maybe I never, you know, like skate crazy rails or huge gaps, and that's fine, but like I'm gonna pursue it and try to become as good of a skateboarder like, you know, Shane O'Neill, Ashad Ware, Jamie Foy, all these guys, Jaeb, because at the end of the day, if you just tell yourself that that's out of reach, you kind of give yourself an easy out and you stop trying to figure out how to make it happen. So rather than, you know, thinking that it's impossible, in my head I kind of think that it's possible. There's just a certain amount of things that I need to learn and figure out as a skateboarder so that I can become that. And so I'm just trying to figure these things out one by one. And over time, all of these things stack up to become, you know, like Ashad Ware, Jamie Foy, all these amazing skaters. And maybe I'm out of time. Maybe I'm, you know, too old to learn all of those little things to get on their level. But also maybe I'm not. Like maybe things just start clicking and I'm able to like learn at a rate that nobody else has ever learned at. Either way, I don't know, but I'm choosing to believe that maybe I can learn at a rate like nobody else has learned and get on their level, however unlikely it may seem, just because choosing that line of thought forces me to take action to improve rather than just saying, oh, I'll never do it and giving myself an easy out. I don't know if this is making sense, but like one train of thought says I can't do it and that's like a dead end, and the other train of thought is how can I do it? And that's what I'm trying to do here, is just how can I do it? Trying to answer that question. How can I learn faster than anybody has ever learned and learn how to skateboard like some of the best skateboarders in the world? It might never happen, but I'm having a really good time trying, and I think that that's what's important. Anyways, yeah, kind of an odd session. I felt like I did like some tricks that I don't normally do, like that nose manual. I just like forced myself. I've been so scared to try that because one day I was warming up doing a nose manual and I fell and like fell forward and like hit my head. Ever since then I've just been terrified, but today I was just like, you know what, I know I'm capable of it. I just need to like get back on the horse. And I mean, it probably took me less than 10 minutes to land the nose manual. So sometimes there's things like that where you can do it, you just need to kind of force yourself to do it. I also really liked how I popped out of that crooked grind. Paul Rodriguez says that you don't really have a trick unless you can pop in and pop out wherever you want. Like you can control that. And obviously I can't really control that, but I'm not good enough to like just do it whenever I want or wherever I want. But I did like pop out early, and that always feels good, like when you do a crooked grind pop out and come out the side, because the board like sticks to your feet really nice instead of just like going off the end. You can kind of cheat it off the end. So I really like that pop out. It's kind of funny, this whole like ollie then kickflip thing. I applied that to the heel flip that I did, and randomly like it like sucked up to my feet. It wasn't like the greatest heel flip in the world, but I did it first try, so I wasn't like too bummed like I felt like I needed to redo it or anything. I was able to get those 3 tray flips, which was sick. Like I feel like some days I really struggled, but today I was able to get those tray flips, and I just really focused on like popping the crap out of that corner pocket, just like really trying to get it to hit the ground hard. The first one popped exactly how I wanted to. The second one more so just like scooped, and then the third one was like full scoop. But I'm trying to figure out how to scoop less and pop more, because I feel like the rotation works a lot better when that back toe side corner of the tail like really smacks the ground. Seems like the tray flip just like appears. So I was just thinking, lift that front foot out of the way and then just pop the crap out of that corner pocket. Anyways, I was able to get 3, still not getting them on flat ground, but hopefully that'll come soon. Another trick I like forced myself to do was that board slide to fakie. For some reason, I've just become really uncomfortable going to fakie with backside board slides. And so I like really was forcing myself like to figure that out. It took me a long while for just such a simple trick, but again, there's just like these simple things that aren't necessarily comfortable for me. I know I can do them. And so some days you just have to take the time to be like, all right, today's the day I'm just gonna force myself to do this again. And anyways, I think I'm gonna do more of those board slide to fakies. And honestly, I did that half cab board slide. I wanna do that fakie board slide back to fakie. I think that would be sick. I just need to do more half cab board slides. Honestly, I really wanna do something else on that rail, like maybe like back 50 or nollie back lip. But I need to like practice skating in my flat bar a little bit more before I try more tricks on it, because I don't want to like get buckled, because it's kind of deceptively comfortable. You get on there and it's not that tall, but there is kind of that drop off factor where you can think that it's chill because it's so easy to get onto that you overlook that it's like twice as far to drop down. Not that it's like super far, but your boy's just really not trying to get buckled and injured. Been really weird these last few days. I've just been like feeling like really sore after taking a week off. My body feels like more sore after like trying to get back in the groove of things. I like pulled my groin yesterday. Luckily it wasn't too bad today. And then like my quadricep, my right quad was like hurting. Just really strange stuff. Anyways, I've been like really focusing on like doing PT and like really trying to take care of my legs and my feet. And then on top of that, like I've kind of had like a little bit of a cold. Anyways, my body is just like under the weather, but hyped that I feel good enough to get out here and skate and land some tricks and make a video for you guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you want to win this skateboard, you just need to subscribe, follow me at the local Joe and Glider Skateboards on Instagram, and then just comment twin tail on this video. You can comment on any of the videos that I post this week if you want extra entries, but shout out to Glider Skateboards for hooking you guys up. Hope you guys are having a great week so far. Remember to make every single day a Friday, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.